So good morning, everybody, and welcome to this week's blog in terms of events and festivals. Great for you to join us today. Just to remind everybody, these weekly blogs are to try and help guide and provide the most up-to-date information for people organising events and festivals within Warwickshire. As usual, delighted to be joined this week by Gemma. Good morning, Gemma.
Good morning, everyone.
The slide just highlights the key points that we've got in terms of the indicators, the public health indicators that we've been using since March, actually, in terms of assessing events and festivals as the different step changes move through. And these have been our guides in terms of where we are on COVID, our response to COVID, our vaccination rates, our pressures on our hospital capacity, and any emerging variants. And we'll talk a bit about that a bit later on, and also some of the impacts of the changes since the last step change, the final easing, has been moved to the 19th of July. Can I hand over to Gemma, and she'll give us some of the up-to-date figures.
Thanks, Jonathan. Okay, I'll just share my screen. And here we go. Okay. So as usual, then I will just, sorry, that seems to have, bear with me a minute. I don't know what's quite happened there. There we are, we're back. Okay. Thank you. Okay, so as usual, I will just start with our rolling rates per 100,000 population for Warwickshire. So as usual, each colour represents the different district and borough across Warwickshire, and then obviously the dotted blue line that's running through the kind of centre represents the Warwickshire average. So our numbers are obviously increasing in line with the national picture, so we've got some sort of much higher numbers coming through now. I'm going to actually zoom in a little bit to the last 3 weeks so we can see that a bit better. So if I come over to the most recent numbers, we've got quite a high number. Our highest district and borough is Nuneaton and Bedworth Borough, with just over 100 per 100,000 population. So obviously thinking about our event indicators, our trigger for a specific district and borough is 75 and over, so it's sort of well over that now. But we are seeing a picture across the whole county of an increase, and the blue dotted line there is coming in at an average for Warwickshire of about 48.3 per 100,000 population. Again, really close to the 50 per 100,000 population indicator that we had specified beforehand as being sort of something to keep an eye on. So we're increasing, and there is, in line with the national picture, there is concerns at the moment, especially in our unvaccinated population. So today, instead of showing you the 60 plus graph, which tends to be fairly steady, I'm going to show you the age group category. So you can see this sort of, I normally show the 60 plus graph, but you can see if we look at the last 3 weeks here, this is a heat map showing the concentration. So the darker the number, the higher the number. Sorry, the darker the colour, the higher the number of cases of COVID. And then on the left-hand side here, there is the age categories. So you can see the sort of 60 to 69 that I normally kind of show is still very light in colour. We can see that over the last 3 weeks, we are looking at our darker colours being in that 10 to 19 age category, and 20 to 29, and some in the 30 to 39s as well. So we know that there is a direct link between vaccination and the transmission of COVID at the moment, especially the Delta variant, which is fast becoming, if not the most dominant variant at the moment. So I just wanted to touch on that. And then final slide that I'll cover is our vaccination summary. So obviously we know this is the key at the moment, and obviously considering everything has been extended for a few weeks, that is due to trying to get as many vaccinations done as possible across the whole country. Warwickshire figures, we are about 76%, so just about 3/4 of our population have had their first dose. And we're really looking for second dose uptake, especially with the Delta variant, and we're sitting at 57%, so over half of Warwickshire population. have had their second dose. So that's going well and increasing all the time. So I will stop sharing my screen. There we are. And that's just a general summary of those indicators.
Thanks, Gemma. That's really helpful. And obviously, we've got real concerns over some of the increases in Nuneaton, as you say. We'd set a figure of 50 per 100,000 population as our benchmark as a trigger benchmark in terms of raising our concerns. What's your own thoughts in terms of festivals, events over the coming few weeks or so? Because I'm sure people who are looking to plan things within July and August will be looking at these and will be concerned about their own planning. What's your thoughts from a public health perspective?
Yes, it's a good question. I think from a public health perspective, just sort of considering the trend and things, it is obviously concerning because we still have that proportion of our community that's unvaccinated and that proportion of our community that has only had one dose, especially within the younger age groups. As the heat graph showed, that's where our transmission tends to be happening. So I think whilst we've got this period of time where the vaccinations are building and increasing, the risk for transmission within an event type setting, especially indoors, would be quite high. So I think it's a case of we would really encourage anyone who's considering holding an event in Warwickshire to come and speak to us, quite quickly, so that we can help work with you to think about the robustness of your COVID security plans, whether it's worth considering moving an indoor event to outdoor, or having more outdoor facilities in an event. And we can kind of talk about, lateral flow testing and things like that with regards to entry to events. So I think it's really vital that you come and speak to us and we can help guide you through. It's worth just sort of noting that I think there's an element of care that needs to be taken over the next few weeks, just looking at those numbers. But that's something that we can discuss on an individual basis if need be.
That's really helpful, and I think as everyone will know listening to this, the step 3 guides in terms of events and festivals, we're looking at no greater than a 50% capacity and up to 4,000 people attending, rather than that being a kind of maximum figure. I suppose my thoughts, if people were talking to us about events of that scale now, I would be saying we've definitely tried to stick with the step 3 guidance and to continue thinking and sticking with the step 3 guidance, but rather using the figure of 4,000 as a target, really think about keeping the numbers to a lower level than that and using as much outdoor space as you possibly can. To have a really good think about capacity levels. We would appreciate that's a challenge for some of the bigger events and festivals, but really if you look at the size of your event and can actually bring the number of people down, use that outdoor space, that would be really, really useful. And as Gemma says, definitely for people to come and talk to us. Those event and festival organisers who have been planning over the last few weeks have all introduced lateral flow testing for every participant, those attending the events and those involved in running the events. And we do feel that that's a really positive way forward and gives some confidence and comfort to those who are attending. And be very proactive on your communication, I think, will be another message we'd be giving to people, that the Indian variant does spread more easily, and people then need to take their own responsibility, do lateral flow testing. If they know people, have been in contact with people who may have that variant, not to attend, for them not to attend the event, and make sure that they own that responsibility. So that would be some key messages, I think, from both of us. So if you are planning an event over the coming weeks in July and August, the message from us as of this week is please come and talk to us. Think about the scale of the event in terms of outdoor rather than indoor settings. maximize the space available, and really look at your plans in terms of those number of people attending. If you're looking to run an event which is very focused on a younger audience, we would definitely ask you to come and talk to us as early as possible. You can either do that through our contacts details, which is dphadmin@warwickshire.gov.uk, or you can speak to your local district and borough, and we can organise to meet up with you and give you some advice. Have I missed anything, Gemma, in that summary?
I don't believe so. No, that's great. Thanks, Jonathan.
Thanks again for joining us again today, Gemma. Thank you everybody for listening in. We hope that's been helpful, and we're here to help as much as we can. Thanks everyone.
Thank you.